Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, there are some more suggestions that the global hard landing may be even further away. The soft landing has actually happened, and that's despite wars, China stumbles and trade tussles. But we start today with the results of the final dairy auction of the year, and the results are somewhat mixed. The headline change is a good 2.25% rise overall in US dollar terms. The key whole milk powder price rose 2.9%, and the food service commodities rose much more, with cheddar cheese up 6.9% and butter up a strong 9.9%. But volumes offered and sold were on the lower side here. But the whole event was somewhat undermined by a sharp rise in the New Zealand dollar at the same time, so that in New Zealand dollar terms, there was essentially no change from the last auction. In the US, housing data has surprised, with new housing starts soaring. Bolstered by low inventories and new lower mortgage rates, they jumped an unexpectedly high 15% in November from October to an annualised rate of 1.56 million starts, the highest rate in 6 months and well above market forecasts of 1.36 million. And American retail sales last week rose 3.6% at bricks and mortar stores on a same-store basis, so those gains are above inflation and are holding, and a good sign for holiday retailing. Meanwhile, consumer inflation in Canada eased in November to be 3.1% higher than a year ago. And yesterday, the release of the RBA minutes in Australia brought a fresh perspective to their warning that rate rises may be needed if inflation doesn't cool further there. However, those warnings are being ignored in wholesale markets, who are actually pricing in rate cuts in late 2024, not rises. And that is because the RBA also has an employment mandate, so markets don't believe it's hawkish inflation fighting talk. The US Treasury 10-year yield has now slipped at 4 basis points today to be 3.92%, and the price of gold will start today up $21 to just on $2,043 an ounce. And oil prices are holding higher at just on $74 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is now at $79.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today at 62.7 US cents and up more than 0.5 cent from yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're holding at 92.7 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're up to 57.1 euro cents. That all means our trade weighted index starts today just on 70.8, up 40 basis points from yesterday and back to more than a 6-month high. Get more news about the New Zealand economy from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.